Bud Not Buddy by Christopher Paul Curtis, Chapter 14, Part 2. And I hadn't noticed before how nice Steady Eddie was either. He talked out of the side of his mouth and kept his eyes kind of blinked halfway down, especially when Miss Tyler would come to our table to see if we were all right, which she did a lot. And he was the first person I'd ever seen who could eat and talk and laugh and drink and sneeze whilst keeping a toothpick dangling out of his mouth. No matter what he'd do, that toothpick always stayed dancing just below his mustache. And Steady Eddie took his time to show me how to hold my lips and how to put my fingers like I was really playing a pretend saxophone. I'm not sure exactly when it happened, if it was when I was scraping up the last little drops of the melted whipped cream, or if it was when Miss Thomas's fingers got to flinging all that magic fairy dust, but sometime whilst I was sitting in the sweet pea, another seed got sprouting. Sometime in that smells like heaven place, another mighty maple started digging down its roots and grabbing hold. One second I was laughing my head off, and the next second I was feeling very surprised, because something hit me just as hard as a snaggletooth McNevin had smacked Hermione Calloway. All of a sudden, I knew that of all the places in the world that I'd ever been, and this was the one. That of all the people I'd ever met, these were the ones. This was where I was supposed to be. And Hermione Calloway could kiss my wrist if he thought he was going to scare me out of this. It was going to take more than a grouchy old bald-headed guy with a tremendous belly to run me out of here. I was smiling and laughing and busting my gut so much that I got carried away and some rusty old valve squeaked open in me, and then whoop, zoop, sloop. Tears started jumping out of my eyes so hard that I had to cover my face with the big red and white napkin that was on the table. I hadn't been this embarrassed since I woke up and found Mrs. Sleet looking at my legs. I could tell that everyone in the sweet pea had stopped laughing and talking and had started looking at me, but I still couldn't quit bawling. Mama used to tell me I'd only get one chance to make a first impression, and it looked like I was blowing it with the dusky devastators of the Depression. Shucks! Finally, I had to put my face in my arms on the top of the table and put the napkin over my head like it was a little blanket, 'cause try as hard as I wanted, it didn't look like I was going to get this doggone valve closed any time soon. I felt Miss Thomas's hand come up under the napkin and rub real soft and slow back and forth over my head. She pulled me out of my chair into her lap and wrapped her arms around me and bounced me up and down on her knee. Dang-ee, I'd never had any kind of reputation with the band now. The only thing I could do was hang on to the napkin and try to make it so folks wouldn't notice how wet my face was. She said so quiet that I was the only one who could hear it. "Okay, baby. Okay. I know. Sweetheart, I know." Then she started humming again, and with my ears smashed up against her chest, it felt like all my bones and muscles quit doing their jobs. It felt like something as big as a steam locomotive engine was chug-chug-chugging right past my ear. I wasn't sure if it was her lips or her hand, but something whispered to me in a language that I didn't have any trouble understanding. It said, "Go ahead and cry, Bud. You're home."